like Attila the Hun. I came here to conquer. Lanes bring the beef, I tell them no donker. They wanna play games, I shock them like Blanca. They still rudimentary, I'm tough like Tonka. And let me get this off my chest. I'm hearing going nowhere, so haters take a rest. Ain't nothing handed, just working hard, sweating. You can take that to the bank. I know I did bet.
Welcome to episode 21 of Eye of the Storm. I, of course, am your host, Tempestt. Please be sure to hit the like button, and if you're new and like the content, be sure to leave a sub and hit the notification bell to know when the next video goes up. It really does help the channel out. Also, if you haven't seen the previous episodes, feel free to give those a look as well. You know, I did start a playlist for ease of access, and of course I do my other content such as music videos, montages. I also do work with Mind Over Mix-Up and some stuff with BDG. But with that out of the way, let's get started. Actually, just a little bit of a disclaimer, and you might hear this for a few episodes until things change a little bit. If there's a little extra noise in the background, it's because I've got a baby kitten and she does not like not being near me. So yeah, that's about it. It's kind of hard to record otherwise. But alright, so quickly to start, the console thing is definitely in a weird situation. Gamefly on Wednesday, the 21st, had a bundle for sale on the the PS5, I should say. And I kid you not, I actually missed it by less than 5 minutes. I was late on finding out too. They probably had a decent amount, but it's sold out in less than preferable time for most who did find out about it. Looks like these extras can come from anywhere at this point with Sony or Microsoft. Keep your eyes peeled and have your connection strong for this one. Next week, which is about 2 weeks out from the release of both consoles, hopefully we'll find out a little more about day of deals, stuff for trade-ins at GameStop, and whatever other stores are trying to do for both the online and in-person deals that they got going on. Let's just hope that things aren't too out of control and that they're not banking on Black Friday, because I can't see that going well. It's like they're just taunting us at this point. Actually, speaking of which, quick shout out to Defying Zero for our subject this week. We're going to talk about taunting in game. So, taunting comes in many forms, and depending on the game, you've got teabagging, the actual taunt button, and a few others. But the two former are the main culprits. Now, I'm not going to sit here and debate the ethics of taunting because, well, that's not what I do. But what I will do is discuss how it affects the way people play. I'm actually going to first read his take on it, and then I'll go into my own. And quote, "Are taunts good or bad? From what I know, it can be used as ammo to attack mentally. For example, Tokido vs. Punk, Grand Finals. Tokido blew off Punk's emotional levels by doing a taunt combo with Akuma. Hungrybox in Melee. Taunting him makes him aggressive and he wants to dish it back in the worst way possible. Third Strike. Taunts in Third Strike generally aren't used as mental attacks, as we all know character taunts in Third Strike have effects that give it either buffs or quirks that can aid them in their play. This shows that taunts in video games aren't just for mental fuel burners. And finally, my experience in dance battles when it comes to taunting, it's about owning the floor. Generally, I don't taunt, but rather I interact with the opponents through my round to force more stuff to happen. You're either sending the message that you're in the lead, or it's a telling that they won't be taking it. Works both ways if you're the first to take the floor or second. Taunting here isn't specifically emotionally changing or anything, but rather it does up the ante. It does emotionally, in this case, hype both the parties. End quote. Now, the view here, just a TLDR, is taunts are a tool that can be used to gain a mental advantage on your opponent, or in some cases it actually has a purpose, like in Third Strike. I actually agree with everything he says here. It's not necessarily about being good or bad, but it's about how it's used. In a competitive sense, taunting has a split, much like a casual sense too. I personally don't care for taunting. I don't do it myself very often unless it's in a setting I know that I can do it in for laughs and giggles. However, most of the time, if I taunt, it's not on purpose. Sometimes I do though. I see nothing wrong with it overall, but some people feel it's disrespectful, trolling, or whatever, and in some cases they may be right. People do it just for that. However, you have to look at how some people taunt to goad a person. to throw them off mentally, because a lot of people, while they taunt, while they may see nothing wrong with it, while they may love it, they just may see it as overall harmless fun, they themselves hate to be taunted. And that's for any reason. Can you tilt your opponent if you're behind? Do you need to draw them in for a mistake? Think about it in this manner. What would you do to win without actually cheating? Taunting, while perhaps a bit of disrespect, is a legitimate tactic, and even your favorite player might do it. In some cases to troll, in some cases to test your mentality, in some cases to actually make you think you have time to punish them for trolling. Remember how we spoke about knowing your moves in the last video? Well, if someone taunts from a certain range, they may just be trying to lure you in because they know they can recover fast enough to just punish any approach that you might come in with. They may be aware of your habits, and you don't know it. In competition, yes, there might be some honor, but sometimes you might need to toss that honor out the window if you truly want to win. Once again, your favorite top players are gonna do just that if they want the win bad enough. I can't stress enough that you need to use the mechanics to your advantage too. Now, you also need to use your opponent. If they get to drop on you and, maybe headshot or mow you down, then what? Well, they teabag you just because they know you're going to get upset and try to get them back for doing so. Are they taunting you while you're pinned down and then, go in for the move? Well, they finish you off or something along those lines? That could just be a simple ploy to tilt you just enough to make mistakes. See, most people make mistakes. There's small ones too, and that can actually cost everything when you're tilted. In the end, how you respond is what will be the end result, and even then, taunting can work against you. Keep in mind, some people actually play better when tilted. They can become more focused and use tunnel vision, for better or worse. It just kind of kicks in. We did talk about that in the past as well, just remember. Now, the way a taunt affects someone or you is a risk in itself. Maybe you're tense and someone taunts you and you laugh. It just loosens you up to focus a bit more. Maybe it's the opposite. They taunt you and it pushes you over the edge to tilt. It is kind of a risk-reward situation, but the overall thing is that taunting really isn't what I would call, again, inherently good or bad. It all comes down to the individual on how it affects you. I personally still get a little annoyed when I get taunted, but sometimes that actually helps me focus. Hey, with me, it's also a 50-50, so you never know. That's it for now, though. It's a pretty heavy subject, but it's actually one that should be talked about given the nature of competitive gaming. And, well, competitive or professional anything, really. But what do you guys think? Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments section. Discuss with each other, and be sure to share this one around. Give a like and a sub if you enjoyed everything, or anything at all. And just remember, we're inching towards our first goal, so let's keep going. When we reach it, I'll figure out something good for you guys on top of the new series. Maybe another attempt at a giveaway, something along those lines. And keep up with me on Twitter too. It's a great way to keep in contact with me, hear some of my thoughts on things I may not cover in the videos, And again, shout outs to Mind Over Mixup and PDG. And with that being said, be safe, take care of each other, press buttons, and catch you on the flip side.
You want says, best believe that you'll catch one. Represent my gang, hands shaking like I'm Gladiator. Beat the beat ferociously, I'm vicious like a manatee. Probably flavor rapper than just rolling like a Don Fin. I'm flame body, everything I do is guaranteed high. Y'all gon' keep this record spinning heavy like a poker stop. I grasp not